Warning! This podcast contains pigs. Lots of pigs. 0 pigs, actually. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Gotham, Season 4, Episode 10, Things That Go Boom. Still can't get over that title. I'm your host, Dom. Joining me is Nikki.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going. To be fair, things did go boom this episode, so it makes sense.
Things did go boom, but that's still a ridiculous title.
They've had some really ridiculous titles the last couple seasons, so...
I guess. It's still, I don't know. We're still dealing with Pig here. I thought we were done with Pig. But as we approach the mid-season finale, which I believe is next week.
I think so, yeah.
We have to look at the dates on that, but we're starting to get evidence that he may not be who he says he is.
We might get evidence. No, there was definite evidence.
we might get. I meant to say we might have evidence, but yeah, he's not exactly who he says he is. It turns out his name is Laszlo Valentine. Now, according to everything canon about Gotham, Laszlo Valentine is just the name of the pig. He's nobody else. So, the route that they decide to go with this is going to be interesting. But I don't know where they're going, because in the New 52 comics, they've made his origin unknown. His whole how he started, his background, all that is completely unknown. So it seems like they're going with that route, but it almost seems like they want to tie it to somebody else. And when Lucius is staring at the x-rays and stuff, saying, oh, he changed his face, he's someone else, instantly, in my head, popped Jerome.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, please tell me this is Jerome. I was about to get really, really, really excited, because Jim even mentioned Jerome.
Yeah, he did.
He went through and he's like, oh, you're yesterday's news. Nobody remembers you now, let alone, years to come or whatever. People like the Penguin or Jerome, whatever his name is. He goes, those are people that everybody remembers. And I was like, it would be really cool if he just ripped his face off right now and it's like Jerome under it. But that never happened, so.
No. And his face seemed pretty mechanical, too. So, I mean, even if he was able to rip his fleshy face off, I feel like he'd look like the Terminator under there.
Yeah. Now, I know in the comics and stuff, the pig has, these pig doll type things that work for him.
Okay.
I forget what they're called. They're very robotic sounding. I'm going to see if I can... look it up real quick, but at first when I was thinking of that, and I'm trying to associate other people that we've seen on the show that they could possibly work together, blend together. I was thinking, how cool would it be if Pig turns out to be the doll maker?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Or working for the doll maker.
It'd
be interesting.
Yep.
I mean, we did find out that he did have some prior psychopathic tendencies in a county over or something.
Yeah, they were just called Dollatrons. I knew it was some weird robotic name, yeah.
What?
They're his minions, yeah. They're like giant life-size dolls. Like creepy dolls. But they're not robots. So, I don't know.
Oh.
That's just where I was going, because I was like, oh, Dollatrons, doll maker, changing faces, I was like, oh, that just reeks doll maker. So I'm hoping that that's the direction they end up going. But who knows? We don't. So, Pig ends up escaping, and that's what we're left with, and we're gonna deal with him next episode. So,
Yeah. I'm
what?
like
You're
over
you're
him
over the pig?
already. I'm over the pig. I was
He's
over the
only
pig like the
been
second
here.
episode he was in there.
No, Pig's been fantastic. Like he's kind of like our first half season villain, and I think the second half is going to be the Scarecrow because he was introduced at the beginning, and then we just kind of like dropped off. And I think he's biding his time. He's doing stuff, so we'll probably
Okay.
deal more with that for the second half of this season. But then we had the Narrows we were dealing with,
Mhm.
where Lee kind of opens up her own court
Yeah.
in the Narrows. It's not Court of Owls. It's
No.
Court of Narrows.
It's literally just like a court where people hash out their differences and problems are resolved.
Yeah. Red Bandit says, "I want Jim to say that'll do, pig." That would be fantastic.
It would.
Yeah, but like it's a non-violent kind of court,
Mhm.
and she's trying to be fair to everybody, and have she still shows that she cares about them, asking about their kids and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
she's working the clinic and all that. And then she gets word that Samson is trying to move in on the territory. Samson controls some territory down south, just south of the Narrows,
Mhm.
and he's starting to move his way back up. Now that the promoter lady, I forget her name already,
Cherry.
Cherry. Now that Cherry's gone,
Mhm.
and he's not having any of it. And she tries to manipulate him, being like, "Oh, you're sick. You have Narrow's lung, and I can help you. Just come to my clinic and all this stuff. If we renegotiate the deal you had with Cherry and whatever." He's like, "All right, but make it 30% of all fight night, payouts, and I'll come down to the clinic, whatever." So she goes to meet him later at the clinic, and the clinic is destroyed.
Mhm.
Samson came in, took whatever he needed, and destroyed the rest. So Lee had to renegotiate the terms by poisoning him. Now this seems a little uncharacteristic for Lee, and I like it.
Um, I think it was just revenge because
Oh yeah,
the clinic is everything to her. She doesn't really care about being the head of the Narrows right now. The clinic is hers, and he came in there and he not only, you know, betrayed a trust that she was hoping for the goodness out of his heart. She was looking for the good in him, and he completely threw that out the window. He came in, he wrecked her shit. That means the world to her. That is her baby.
yeah.
So yeah, she's gonna go after him full blown like Mama Bear.
hmm I
Hmm.
like it. I really do. This is the Lee I want to see. I want to keep moving forward with this. Forget about like the helpless, manipulated Lee that we had
Hmm.
before. That was like lapdog to Jim Gordon.
Hmm.
Like make her a strong character like Barbara, and I think we'll all grow to love her, even you. So
I mean, this episode really was interesting for me because I didn't hate her.
yeah, yep,
Um, Also, I mean, like we've seen her lie before, but she was lying to be good to Ed. Like she's like, I don't want you to
yeah.
change. I like you the way you
I
are.
like
And
Enigma. I don't like the Riddler. We used to
yeah,
be friends. I want to go back to that.
yeah. And before that whole whatever he had in the bathroom, he really liked the fact that she called him a friend again, that she liked him the way he was, that he still was really smart. It's just something that
Mental
is
block.
he's mentally blocked. And he was just like, "Oh, okay." And it was a really nice, like, I never expected them to be like partners like that.
hmm
It's actually an interesting duo, and I'm looking forward to it if the Riddler doesn't poke his ugly head back out right away, anyways.
yeah. So I don't know, but Riddler kind of already has. We see him in the mirror. He's
Hmm.
in Ed's head, so it's only
Hmm.
a matter of time before. Uh,
He's trying to fight him.
yeah, it's only a matter of time though before he
Hmm.
pops through.
Yep.
So But the meat and potatoes of this episode was Sophia, and as much as I really haven't liked Sophia, um, this episode really kind of came together for me with her, because it just kind of shows how in depth her plan was to like masterfully manipulate everybody, and including like part of her manipulation is allowing people to know they're being manipulated, which only
Hmm.
manipulates them further. So there's like layers to this manipulation. So I think that's really interesting. That's really fantastic that she's able to, and not just her, because obviously it's the writers, but I mean just like the character. But for both the writers and the character to be able to have like that, one step ahead kind of mentality, and then for Penguin to still kind of get the upper hand at one point, despite all of that. It was just, this episode was really great for me. I loved all of it.
It was a really like, especially this part, like I was kind of on the same boat as you as far as disliking Sophia. Um, because she was kind of playing the damsel in distress.
Yep.
She was playing naive,
I mean,
she's
we
playing
said
all
it
these
before. We
games.
said like she's literally Jim's new like replacement for Barbara and Lee
Vale.
and Vicky Vale, and
Yeah.
it's just like every single, or Valerie Vale rather. Um, it was just like everybody, and it's ridiculous. It's just like Jim has like this weird type of like helpless girls, and now I'm actually curious if Jim's gonna change his position on her when realizes how strong she is. Like if it, I don't know if it's gonna.
You mean like not push her out the door?
Yeah,
Like I feel like he's still kind of torn, but he was like, it's not gonna work out. You gotta go home.
yeah. I mean,
And
because she was not only that, but she's pitting Jim and Penguin against each other, like
hmm
masterfully manipulated both of them. Like the whole Martine thing, we find out that Martine lied to Penguin that he didn't actually see. Because we're like, Sophia, I remember saying this like last week or the week before. It was like, Sophia, if you didn't want people to know that you were in a relationship with Jim, you shouldn't have kissed him
hmm
at the party, allowing
hmm
anybody, especially Martine, to come see it. That's stupid. And it turned out that that was part of her manipulation. She wanted Penguin to know that. And I was just like, that's genius. That is genius. So, Martine confesses to Penguin. And I think that she knew that that would happen. So um, Penguin calls her out, all this stuff, corners her, and introduces her to the dentist. And the dentist is sitting there and he's about to drill through her skull, and she reveals, she knows everything about him. She knows where he lives. She knows the name of his wife and child,
hmm
like the whole history of her father killing his brother, and all this crazy stuff. And she's like, if I don't report back, they're gonna kill your son and your wife. So
Yeah,
you
she
have to let me live.
specifically she told him, she's like, you know what, you think that I haven't been researching every in and out of Penguin's like people? She goes, you're the only person that he trusts with this kind of job.
Hmm.
So of course I looked into you, and of course I have fail safes. Like, you know. And at first he was like, I'm just gonna fucking drill your head. I don't give a shit. And it was just like, yeah, well, you just killed your family. And then he was just like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no.
Tighten the restraints on her, and then drills, Penguin's lackey bodyguard, and he flees and lets her go, and it's just like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and as she walks out the door, uh, Selena, Tabitha, and Barbara kidnap her, and it's just like, Sophia cannot catch a break here, but then they want to kill her and use her as leverage for Penguin, but as soon as they find out that Penguin wants her dead too, they see an opportunity here. So
Mm-hmm.
while they're kind of discussing their plans, and Barbara's like the most apprehensive to work with them or work with her, Zaz shows up with a rocket launcher. So,
Yep.
and it was just
Blows
like,
Barbara's shit up. She has nothing left.
no, she's done for.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jim goes to see Penguin and is like, look, Sophia's been playing us both, you know. It's like the situation of the story, you know, you always hear about a girl playing two guys, you know, kind of thing, and you know, the rare situation where they confront each other and they decide to team up against her, you know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. It happens every now and then. That was a plot of the seventh Saw movie, you know. So
It's a
they've
trap.
yeah, they've been using that for a bit of it. So they they decide that they're gonna work with Sophia. Well, Sophia goes to see Jim, and she tries playing pity party on him, and says that Penguin tried to blow her up, and you know all this stuff. And Jim's like, "Well, I'm gonna put her on a train, and you're not gonna touch her,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna go back to the way things were, except no licenses. And me and you are cool. You just got to drop this with her, and let her go home." Penguin's like, "All right, I can do it." But Sophia this whole time was banking on the fact that he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you could see she's on the train and she's nervous and she's waiting, and you know, sure enough, here comes Zaz. Zaz comes on board. He's like, "What have you done with Martine?" Apparently the girls have kidnapped Martine now.
Yep.
So Sophia's just like, "Well, he's alive for now, but you know, if he wants to remain that way, Penguin's got to meet me under the bridge, such and such time. Do you mind freeing me?" And he shoots off her cuffs, and they leave. And you know, she bluffed to kill Martine. And Red Bandit in chat says, "Do you think Sophia would have killed Martine, or do you think it was a bluff?" I think it
I
was a
think it was
bluff,
an
100% bluff.
absolute bluff. She would never kill a child.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
no. I don't. She like.
I don't even think
Uh,
her father would approve of her using him as leverage. But
no.
um,
We know that Falcone has, there has been children killed in his wake, but I don't think it was because he ordered it.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. And Red Bandit says the rocket launcher was amazing. It was.
Oh, it was great.
It was. And then so they make the trade. The trade is Martine for Penguin's control of the underground.
Hmm.
And Penguin's like, all right. He puts Martine in the car, and then he says he's not allowing Martine to be used as a pawn in her game anymore, and blows the limousine up.
Yep.
Two emotions were going through my head at the same time. One, he's not dead. That was my first and
Yeah.
foremost reaction. I just couldn't figure out how. And number two was, if Penguin killed Martine, I'm going to be extremely pissed off. So it's going both ways. Like, no, it was like denial. Like, no, he's not dead. And two, if he is dead, fuck you, Penguin. You know,
Hmm.
like Penguin's supposed to be a villain, but you know, there's a line you
Yeah.
cross, Penguin, especially with kids that you've been like mentoring this whole time. You know.
Yeah.
So, but Red Bandit said as soon as Martine got in that car, I knew it was going to blow up. I also knew that Martine wasn't dead. So it's kind of my feeling too. I will say I did feel something funny as he was entering, so I didn't necessarily know it was going to blow up, but I knew something was going to happen. But I didn't know if like Martine was going to drive the limo into Penguin, or you know, like what was going to happen, but I knew something was going to happen with Martine at that point.
Hmm.
And as soon as he blows the limo up, him and Zaz open fire on the girls and basically declare all out war.
Hmm.
This is where we cut back and find out Martine is still alive, and he left escape plans. We get to see him enter the limo, find a hole underneath.
That's why if you really pay attention to that scene where Penguin sends Martine to the car, Martine opens the door, stops, looks at Penguin, and Penguin just gives him a little nod,
Hmm.
and then he gets in the car. It's because that escape plan was very visible as soon as you open that door. So Martine was
Oh yeah,
like, "Oh, okay." Like,
yeah,
you sure you want me to go down this hole? Yes, very sure.
yeah. So he sends him away to kind of protect him, and uh, Sophia and the girls are sitting there practicing up declaring all-out war against Penguin, because Barbara can't survive without Sophia. She's got nothing left to go back to, and Sophia needs the girls, so they have no choice but to work together to stop Penguin and get whatever plan is going to come to a head here. This has got to be the end of it next episode for the mid-season finale. So
Yeah.
but
I feel like, I mean, we Selena, she is the Catwoman that we all want, but she hasn't really gone through the transition yet.
yeah,
I feel like that's gonna happen next episode. That's gonna be our cliffhanger.
you think?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They really haven't been focusing on her too much. If anything, it's going to be
For
Pig.
what do you expect?
It's going to be Pig.
If they're gonna do something big with Selena, they're gonna leave you at the end with like,
Yeah,
oh my god.
but I just don't think right now. Like, if anything, it's going to be Ivy, because we still haven't seen her.
That's
Like,
true.
there's stuff going on with some of these other characters, Scarecrow and Ivy and Pig and Riddler and even Grundy, that have been major forefront, like, big changes to these characters. They're not going to just throw Selena out of left field, completely. They're going to dig up something. Probably, if they're going to do anything, it's going to be Ivy. Along those lines. I don't see it with Selena quite yet. If all of a sudden Selena starts getting way more important and there's a lot more focus on her, then sure. But, as of right now, I'd say no. I mean, we didn't even see Bruce this episode.
Good.
So.
Didn't need him. Didn't need his little punk ass this episode.
Yeah, we will be getting him next week, though, for, the mid-season, obviously. So, you have anything else for this episode?
Not really. I mean, I don't really like the four girls working together at all. Maybe it's just because I don't like Sophia that much.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Maybe.
that's about it.
All right. Well, next episode is called Queen Takes Night. So, setting up for checkmate. Things get complicated for Gordon, Sophia, and Penguin when Carmine Falcone comes to town. Alfred tries to get through to Bruce once and for all, while Nigma struggles to gain control over the Riddler persona, and Tabitha attempts to make Grundy remember his past. Meanwhile, a familiar smile resurfaces in Gotham.
Hey, Jerome, how you doing? Nice to see you.
Yep. Trying to see if I don't see. He's not listed in the cast, but I think there's a generic cast. Oh no, there he is, Cameron Monaghan as Jerome.
Nice.
So, yep, guest cast. I'm excited. I am excited.
Good shit.
Been waiting for Jerome, so that's gonna be a better finale than having anything with Selena right now. Mid-season for anything.
Maybe I just want more Selena.
I think that's what it is. That's what it is. Red Bandit says maybe Bruce will finally get some much-needed discipline.
He literally needs a good few slaps in the side of the head.
I just want Alfred to give him a good backhand. Just one good backhand. That's all he needs.
And the best thing is, Alfred, you got the Lazarus pit running through you. You just fucking beat the kid up a little bit. Just do it. He needs it.
On that note, Nikki, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24. Not touching children like that. At LadyVenom24. DYPENOM24. Yeah, I wouldn't. But Alfred can.
I would personally give Bruce a good backhand. Down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. And you can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, Space. Down below at our Discord, as well as on Twitch and YouTube for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV show, games, and movies. Till next week with the mid-season finale. See you guys later.
Bruce would snap me in half. There's no way I'm picking a fight with that kid.
I'll just smack him around a little bit.